Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode with me, Dan, and the Radiant Racing team as we come to the Chinese Grand Prix for the first time in the My Team Career, something that has featured before on the Co-op Career series through some of the different seasons that we did, but this is its first time on the My Team side. A track which has not favoured Radiant Slothz particularly well in the past on the co-op careers, being caught out by weather, which happened in this occasion, catching out several drivers actually. The rain in qualifying meaning that they'll be starting in different locations. The usual on the grid. Excuses, I know. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, and we'll move on to the slightly jumbled up grid order for the first Chinese Grand Prix of the My Team. Something that isn't jumbled up though are the Mercedes 1-2 Valtteri Bottas, followed by Lewis Hamilton, then the two Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Behind them we have Charles Leclerc, he lines up alongside Lando Norris, and then behind them we have Daniel Ricciardo, one of their teammates, and Pierre Gasly. Rounding up the top 10 we have Fernando Alonso once again and Yuki Tsunoda. Further down the order though, we have the two Aston Martins of Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll. Behind them we have the two Alfa Romeo drivers of Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi. Then we have Carlos Sainz in the second Ferrari and Radiant Slothz starting all the way back down in 16th. Behind them we have Esteban Ocon having another terrible qualifying alongside George Russell. Then we have Zhou Guanyu at his home Grand Prix, followed by Nicholas Latifi, and running out the back row, it is of course Nikita Mazepin and Christian Lundgaard. Well, Radiant Slothz has got his work cut out for him today, as does Carlos Sainz as we come into the inaugural Chinese Grand Prix for the My Team Career, and we're away. Valtteri Bottas looking to retain his high position at the top of the Drivers' Championship, but Max Verstappen has other ideas. Radiant Slothz going around the outside of Mick Schumacher, who's had a dreadful start. There's two Aston Martins ahead as well. He's going to try and get both of them too. There's Antonio Giovinazzi, also falling victim to Radiant Slothz, who closes the door. Carlos Sainz as well follows him through. Excellent start for the pair of them. As they come down towards the kind of hairpin, he goes up the inside of Fernando Alonso, catches him by surprise, and almost takes a position from Lando Norris as well. Already breaching into the top 10, Carlos Sainz behind his hero Fernando Alonso in P12. Good start for Radiant Racing and Ferrari. Of course, their teammates in much different positions. Charles Leclerc up in P5, Zhou Guanyu all the way down in 19th. Still struggling in that car, but hopefully better things are to come pretty soon. As we see Giovinazzi going a little bit defensive in the background. Radiant Slothz is still trying to get onto the gearbox of Lando Norris as they come down onto the back straight. Yuki Tsunoda up ahead as well in the AlphaTauri, trying to defend his teammate up ahead. As the silence falls and we await the pack arriving. Radiant Slothz already on the attack. He's going to go to the inside of Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris. It has not worked for him. He comes under attack from Fernando Alonso. Up ahead though, Lando Norris going around the outside of Tsunoda. Has it paid off though? It is not. It's actually cost them massive amounts of time. As Radiant Slothz goes around the outside of the pair of them, or is trying to at least. They go shooting round. And he's drawn alongside Lando Norris there. Goes a little bit wide. They may have bumped into each other. Big slide for Radiant Slothz as he tries to keep it out the side of the McLaren side pod. Fernando Alonso getting agitated behind, trying to give them the hurry up. And Radiant Slothz goes round the outside into the hairpin as they approach the Shanghai S's. He has put a nose ahead. And now he's up into P9. He's just doubled his points total so far. As we were going through the pit straight there, we did see someone dive into the pits. It appears as though that was Antonio Giovinazzi, who's actually right ahead of us right now on screen as we follow Radiant Slothz on board into turn 1. He gets a good getaway there. Shoots around the outside of Schumacher. And there's Giovinazzi on the right-hand side. The Aston Martin doing well not to crash into Radiant Slothz there, as Radiant Slothz did well to almost not make contact with the Aston Martin. And here's the run down to the hairpin. Up the inside of Alonso. Everyone getting very bunched up by Ricciardo getting past Yuki Tsunoda. Unfortunately, no one else was able to follow him beyond that. This is on board with Norris. This is what caused Radiant Slothz to be able to catch up so great in the final corner. Tsunoda's ahead, but Norris is very gradually gaining. And over there on the left-hand side, that is Radiant Sloth's wheel. Tsunoda outbreaks the pair of them, then crashes into Radiant Sloths for seemingly no reason. Norris up the inside, then round the outside, but there's the front wing of Radiant Sloths. He doesn't make contact, but he does slide all over the place. It's the squeeze on the McLaren, and as he comes down towards the hairpin, Lando Norris reluctantly gives him space. That is a mistake that he will regret as Radiant Sloths gets a much better drive out of the hairpin and takes the lead into the S's. As we rejoin him now, following Yuki Tsunoda, and he's looking left, you can hear the McLaren already coming. He nearly rear ends Yuki Tsunoda, spears into the back tyre there as he outbrakes Lando Norris and potentially himself as they come round under this incredibly large building, which serves as the pit straight. Almost looks like someone landed a spaceship on top of it as they come round. My throat becomes incredibly dry doing this commentary as Radiant Sloths comes round the hairpin at the end of the straight. It appears that we've got some jostling going on ahead. Pit stops. Perhaps. We'll find out in a moment. Oh, Fernando Alonso's just dropped a bunch of positions there. So yes, pit stops it is. Who have we got coming in? We've got Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo. All in trying to get an undercut there. As Radiant Sloths still looks at the back of the Alfa Romeo. The Alpha Tauri, sorry. Coming down towards the hairpin. Carlos Sainz as well, just for the record, who started alongside Radiant Sloths in the back quarter of the grid. Up into P6, just behind Norris right now. So he's on an absolute storming drive. As they come round the double left-hander, Radiant Sloths running wide and then oversteering quite considerably. Everything that's helping Yuki Tsunoda here as he goes deep into the corner, tries to go on the perfect line, which he has said that he is unable to do. He just cannot figure out how to do that corner very well. One thing he can do a lot better, though, is sit behind Yuki Tsunoda with the DRS open and hopefully let the overspeed take him past. He does close that very nicely, and he crashes into the back of the Alpha Tauri there. Double lock up on the fronts. Probably wasn't quite expecting Tsunoda to slow down so much, or wasn't expecting himself to be going that fast. As he stays out, he's going to take the lead of the race. He's got someone behind. That's Sebastian Vettel behind. Mick Schumacher and his teammate Zhou Guanyu all following through. Everyone else has come in. That could be costly. A bit of a strange decision that he did not follow Tsunoda in, considering that Tsunoda may have been slower on track.
Box. But
he's now going to get the benefit of the DRS from everyone around him. It's just going to help him out too much. So here he goes, Radiant Sloths coming into the pits. As I slowly die from this commentary, we're still just under halfway through the race. So the key people to look out for: Valtteri Bottas coming around the final corner. At some point, we'll see him, or hear him. I think I can hear him. There he is. Lewis Hamilton joins him. Sergio Perez also going past. And Charles Leclerc. Quite a few cars going past now. But the question is, where is Yuki Tsunoda? We see him leapfrogging up positions. There he is. Sneaking past. Fernando Alonso has managed to get the jump on Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, which pushes them out of the top 10. But Radiant Sloths, in a lapse of judgment perhaps on the strategy, is still behind Yuki Tsunoda. And he's got another 7-8 laps of this to go if he can't get past. And even if he does get past, we already knew from last season that the Honda Power Unit is powering both of these cars. There may be issues as we go on board with Zhou Guanyu for the first time this season, coming down towards this horrible corner, and he just puts his foot through the accelerator. Interesting decision, and decides to Austin Powers it to turn the car around, and presumably he's going to sit there and wait for everyone to go past. He's now dropped out of the top 20. As they go on to lap 8, surely now Radiant Slothz is going to be able to get past Yuki Tsunoda as he goes up the inside into turn 1. Tsunoda just crashed into him for no reason, or perhaps Radiant Slothz was returning the favour from earlier on in the race. Either way, he's got past. Into turn 2 he goes, and he's completely fine. As we go on board for this angle, which shows us absolutely nothing about what's actually happening right now because no one's in front of him. Daniel Ricciardo's 5 seconds down the road. There is absolutely no way that over the next few laps he's going to be able to go that much faster without DRS. They come round. He goes massively wide on the in the bowl section here as we go on board. Now this is an angle that we like to see. Radiant Slothz going defensive. You can see he's already changed position. Tsunoda gaining massively now with the DRS. He goes defensive to the inside. Radiant Slothz tries to cover him now on the outside. He might just deliberately not slow down with the corner. No, he doesn't. He did lock up though as they come around this final corner. This is where Norris actually lost a position, trying to fight Tsunoda earlier on. And well, thanks to the battle going on up here from Tsunoda trying to get past Radiant Slothz, it's actually helping out Fernando Alonso. As we rejoin, appears to be raining slightly on the final lap of the race. You can see the streaks on the ground where the tyres are going over the water. Not that it matters though. This is not the Belgian Grand Prix of 2021 that we saw in Season 1. No, we do not have to deal with changeable conditions before the end of the race. Radiant Slothz rounds the final corner. It's P8. It's a second point finish in a row, but it is not the podium that he needed. Valtteri Bottas, though, picking up a second P2. That's going to give him a massive advantage going forward. Radiant Slothz, though, does pick up Driver of the Day as a consolation prize. Good job to him. But Red Bull pick up the second win of the season. So Mercedes, the current Constructors' Champions, 2 races into the season, they are unable to pick up a win for either of their drivers. Consistent good points, though, which is another good factor which can help you win the championship. As we watch the guys in the garage celebrating Sergio Perez, a man that at one point last season, in fact I think at one point most of the 4 drivers from those teams leading the championship. Sergio Perez was a notable one from early on before he lost the lead to Valtteri Bottas. Then it was taken by Max Verstappen until it was finally won by Lewis Hamilton. But that's all for today. Let's get on to the final results. And here are the final results. Of course, as we know, it was a Red Bull win with a Mercedes 2-3 for the second time. Behind them we have Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Radiant Slothz, Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso. So this changes the Drivers' Championship a bit. Sergio Perez now draws level with Valtteri Bottas on 37 points apiece, followed by Lewis Hamilton just 1 point ahead of Radiant Slothz. Then we have Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris and Yuki Tsunoda. Further down the order, Fernando Alonso picks up his first point in the season, putting him up into 11th. He's followed by Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon, Sebastian Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Antonio Giovinazzi, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, Zhou Guanyu, Nikita Mazepin and Christian Lundgaard. Over in the Constructors, Mercedes retain the lead over rivals Red Bull and Radiant Racing. After 2 races, Radiant Racing of course only being supported by 1 driver at the moment. 5 points behind them we have McLaren on 24 points, then AlphaTauri and Ferrari with 1 point different between them. Then Alpine, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, Williams and Haas. We'll catch you in the next one.